anyone recently done anything that didn't quite work out as planned? I mean, to the point, yeah, to the point where you're wondering, why did I do that? Right? Can anybody relate to this? Yeah, at least once, right? Would somebody be willing to share? One person share what they're thinking of? Come on, I need a volunteer. Share what you're thinking of. Cliff.
Several things. I got involved in a couple of products online that promised the world, and when I got in, the world wasn't there.
The world wasn't there.
No, sir.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. When that happened, what did you feel about yourself?
I was disappointed that I got sucked in, felt suckered. I constantly get into these things thinking this will be the one, and they never are.
Okay.
And now I've made a gigantic leap, and I'm not going down the same rabbit hole.
Understood. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's give Cliff a round of applause for being brave enough to share. Thank you, Cliff.
Thank you.
My name is Paul Levin. Welcome to today's, now I've got the name of the event as Learn and Earn Money Secrets Networking Lunch.
Oh, okay.
That's what I got off the meetup group. And in particular today, change how you think and change your life. Today we'll be introducing the trophy effect, which is the work of a man by the name of Michael A. Nitti. He has a book by the same title, The Trophy Effect, on Amazon. And I'd like to encourage everyone to look this up on Amazon, get the book, read the book. It's also available in audio format, which I actually downloaded last night. So I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of the content. I want to thank all of you for being here today. I know that this is a regular work day. Many of us are busy. It's the middle of the afternoon. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come here, to be here today to learn with us. Less than a year ago, I would have to say that there were several aspects and areas of my life where this continually messing up on things was a regular part of my life in those areas. And that has changed, and I want to ask, is it okay with you if I take a few moments and just kind of share with you about that? Sure. Okay, great. It really, I would say, for me, the biggest thing was interpersonal skills. I began life as pretty much an introvert as a child. I was relatively smart in school, more than the kids around me, which didn't do me any good for making friends at all. And then I got a degree in computer engineering, which allowed me to spend the rest of my life working with a computer. So I didn't have to talk to people at all. Right? One of the big effects of that was self-doubt. That nagging voice in the back of it's not in the back, in the front of my head. That every time I would do something, that voice would say, well, that was wrong. You blew that again. Can anybody relate to this? Can somebody? Okay, it's not just me, right? I just wanted to be sure. In fact, my first girlfriend, which I had in grad school, gave me a book called Knots. And the whole book was all about these circles that our brains go through. And how they always kind of tend to spiral down. It was a very good book. It kind of helped me get an understanding of what was beginning to go, the beginning of an understanding of what was going on in my head. But I want to give credit to the trophy effect, which is what we're going to talk about today, because the trophy effect, this is the first time that I can honestly say, once and for all, that voice doesn't affect me anymore. That circle of thought, it's over. It's stopped. And that's available for you here today. Suppose you could stop beating yourself up. Suppose you could stop that that nagging voice, that self-doubting voice in your head. Put an end to it. What would your life be like then? Imagine how it would feel going to bed at night, knowing that everything you did from the time you woke up till the time you're going to bed was absolutely perfect. We have limited time today, and we're going to go through the content for the material rather quickly. I am planning on doing a longer event where we'll have the time to go in depth, and we'll use some other techniques that we'll talk about later. The originator of the trophy effect, Michael Niddy, defines the trophy effect, and I have to read this, it's long. I have to read of the trophy effect as an innate, subconscious force that causes human beings to focus on their shortcomings, what you talked about earlier, on what's wrong, rather than on their accomplishments. As a result, you and I are inclined to feel more doubtful than hopeful, and more likely to give up on things rather than stay the course. Moreover, because the trophy effect is tied directly to our survival instinct, it is so well concealed that we are not even aware it's occurring. Therefore, we do not know that the trophy effect is something over which we can exercise full autonomy simply by learning how to do so. Cliff, if I can come back to the situation that happened with you. And you were saying that you keep getting into these businesses, hoping the world will be there, and it's not. And again, it was another failure. We beat ourselves up, don't we?
Yes.
Right? That's what we do. When something like that happens, start beating ourselves up. You blew it again. Right? Actually, and at the other event we'll go into depth of why the brain does this, but the brain actually is happy that you blew it again. The brain gets to be right. Actually, let me rephrase that, the mind. I'm going to use the word mind here. The mind gets to be right again. And when it gets to be right, it goes one step further. It gives itself a trophy to reward itself for being right again. But it's not just any ordinary trophy. On the base of this trophy is this big number, so 1 through 10. And it rewards itself on the level to which it was right. On this trophy here that we're talking about, Cliff, what was the number on your trophy?
Probably 9.
Probably a 9. Okay, so that was a major win. The brain got to be right, big time. Again. And now what happens when someone gives you a trophy? What do you do with the trophy?
Display
Hold on display.
You put it on display in a trophy case. But you don't just put it in the trophy case and forget it, do you? No. Every now and then you walk by, you admire it, it's beautiful. You might take it down, polish it a little bit, put it back up there, adjust the light. Is there just one trophy case? Or are there a lot of trophy cases? There is a warehouse full of these trophy cases, is there not? Yes?
Yes.
What happens when we have a success? When we do something right? We accomplish something. Do we give ourselves a trophy? Yeah, actually we do. Can anybody think of a success where you mentally gave yourself a trophy for succeeding? Anybody think of one?
Well, I guess today
Okay.
we did, I'm getting in the habit of doing that more.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thinking about one of those, thinking about one of those trophies, actually, can you tell me one of those successes?
Well, one would be, really completing the start of the branding process, which we
Okay.
did a couple of weeks ago, maybe it's a month ago, but yeah.
Now, on that trophy,
Yes.
what score did it have?
It was a good accomplishment for me. It took me a long time, so it was 9, 10.
9, 10, excellent. Okay, all right, great. Thank you for sharing, Lisa. Typically, And yours is a phenomenal success, and it deserves a 9 and a 10, absolutely. But typically, we tend to give our success trophies a score of 3, 4. But when we ask somebody else, we tell somebody else, so listen, here's a failure I had and I gave me a 9 for that, or my mind gave me a 9 for that. Here's a success I had, my mind gave me a 3 for that. And we ask somebody else for their opinion, they will typically look at you and say, well, no, that deserves a 9. But not in our mind, right? We give ourselves a lower score for our successes. Now, of course, those success trophies, they go in a case, in a trophy case also. And there is a warehouse for success trophies. It's a lot smaller than the other warehouse, right? How do you feel? We're going to take a shift now. How do you feel when you go into the negative, self-condemning warehouse? How does that feel to you?
Depressing.
Depressing, right? Sad. How does it feel when you go into the good trophy warehouse?
Great.
Great. Rewarding. Now the tricky question. How does it feel? What does your mind feel when it goes into the self-condemning warehouse?
Probably good.
Vindicated. Right. Yeah? Right? Because this is all the examples of where it was right. So clearly, you are not your mind. Right? Different reaction in the same place. So clearly, you're not your mind. Where do these warehouses exist?
In your mind?
In our minds. Exactly. And you have the ability to control your mind. Just agree to that. We'll go in depth on that another time. But you do have the ability to control your mind. So what we're going to do, right here, right now, is we're going to close the self-condemning warehouse. So close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. And if you can still see me, your eyes aren't closed.
Love that line.
You know where I got it from.
Yes, I do.
Okay, take a deep breath in. Thank you. Let it out. Thank you. I want you to imagine that you are standing outside the front door of that self-condemning warehouse. Now see yourself taking out a huge steel chain and a monster-sized lock. And you're going to wrap that chain around the door handles and put that lock on that door so that nothing can get in or out of that self-condemning warehouse. Go ahead and open your eyes now. From this moment on, that warehouse, the self-condemning warehouse, is closed. If you should happen to get one of those negative trophies, just throw it away because there's no place to put it. Okay? The good warehouse is still open. Those trophies, continue to collect them. Clearly there's a lot more to this topic. And we can go into depth on how the brain works and why it does what it does and the actual steps necessary to get rid of negative behaviors. In addition, the things that we've learned here today are sitting currently in the top levels of the brain, in the cerebral cortex. In order for them to be things that we can live our daily lives out of moment by moment, that understanding needs to be driven down into the lower parts of the brain. One way to do that rapidly is with hypnosis. I'm planning on doing another program in the near future where we will do that. We will dig into these concepts in greater depth. We'll use hypnosis to move the knowledge down into the lower parts of the brain so that it becomes something you automatically act from. Is it okay with you if I take a moment and tell you about that event?
Yes.
Thank you. That's going to be called also the Trophy Effect in Depth. We will learn the two core states of existence from which we can approach life moment by moment. One of those states is empowering, the other is not. We will cover how to switch between the states whenever you desire. We'll discover where undesirable behaviors come from, and more importantly, how to put an end to them. And of course, we will use hypnosis to move these lessons down into the parts of the brain where we can just live out of them. Programs such as these can cost easily in excess of $100, $200, maybe even more, free. My program, The Trophy Effect in Depth, is only $40. Because this is Elise's lunch and I love Elise, I'm throwing in a couple of bonuses. Only at that event, I will be able to give a 25% discount on Michael Nitty's CD program that takes all of these lessons to a way much deeper level and also uses uses anchoring techniques to, again, drive the material down to the brain so we can live out of it. As an extra bonus, you can bring a guest with you, one guest with you, for free. Since this is the first time I'm offering this program, I feel compelled to give an extra special price. So if you, it's a small room that I'll be getting. Space will be limited and I expect it to fill up very quickly. So to recap, we'll dive deeper into the functioning of the mind. You'll learn how to effortlessly switch from non-empowering states to empowering states of existence. You'll learn how to stop undesirable behaviors. We'll use hypnosis to reinforce the lessons. You'll get a discount on Michael Nitty's CD package, and that's a $50 value right there. And you can bring a guest for free. I like to reward people who take action. So if you sign up here today at lunch, it will be $25. That's it. Raise your hands if you're interested in that.
Thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver